Hey guys, it's Quickly again with another ROM review, and this time I've got the crDroid version 1.5 for the OnePlus 3, so stay tuned for that. So guys, the crDroid ROMs, what is it? I mean, it is a CM based ROM, and I have done crDroid review beforehand, and I have used it as a daily driver before Resurrection came, of course, and I was really in love with the ROM, and it gave us a lot of functionality. So what is new in this one? The first thing is that this is based on the latest Android, that is 7.1.1, so that is the latest version available, and we have that here on board. So let's get into the settings and see what all are different. First of all, this is version 7.1.1, so that is the biggest difference. That is the latest version of Android available, and we have that. So apart from that, the crDroid version, as I've already said, is 1.5, so that is the latest version, and that does work out pretty well. This is based on CyanogenMod, and you have the API level as Guava 7. It does have the latest December patches, so you do get that, and that is the latest, and that is a very important feature in any of my ROMs, so I would really like to have that. SLN status is enforcing, so that should be pretty amazing for most people. Device model, now I have gotten Pixel XL because I am using Android Assistant for my usage, so that is why I had to use the root method. Someone did tell me that we can use an expose module to enable that without changing the Pixel device model name. Exposed isn't available for Nougat yet, so I don't have that option here, so I will have to go through root, and I will have to change the device name to Pixel or Pixel XL and change a few things there. So this is the only method I'm aware of apart from exposed to get assistant enabled. So if you have any other methods, please do share. I would like to have that. Anyways, let's get to the other stuff now. If you have seen a crDroid ROM and if you have used one, you pretty much know how this is going to work out. Most of the stuff here are working. Second SIM is working, and I really appreciate that. Something else which I really appreciate is the color for 2 SIM cards are working, so you can enable blue, and it does work, and that is something which I really appreciate. This was not something which was working in other ROMs, so that is working in this one, and I really like that. Let's get into the extra stuff now. First of all, in this crDroid settings is where all the extra options are. In the status bar option, you do have network traffic indicator and outgoing incoming. I have enabled that. I do use that. Tickers are available if you want the old school style of tickers on the status bar. You do have that. SEO icon can be enabled because this does use the CyanogenMod's SuperSU enabler, so you can use that. Status bar icons can be customized where you can disable stuff which you don't want to, and also you can do even seconds from here, but it doesn't seem to be working. Anyways, maybe a restart will, but I haven't tried that out because I personally do not use seconds. It does have battery bar, and you can enable that. That does work out. Clock styles is available for left, center, and right. Hidden version does not work, so just so you guys know, hidden is not an option anymore. AM PM style can be enabled, disabled, or hidden, so that is there. Date can be enabled, disabled, or hidden, so you can have that. Position of date, font of the time and date, and all that is available. Circle is available for battery status style, so is the portrait and the landscape, and even text that is available. Quick pull down is available. Brightness control, all of these are available. You can even enable the crDroid logo, which is kind of working. I personally did not do that, but hey, it is there. In the quick setting stuff, you do have tiles option where you have small quick setting tiles. So I have set it to 7, so it will show 7 quick setting panel in the small tiles, and I have enabled it for the same 7 on the normal file with 2 rows. So you do have that option, and you can enable that. I personally am using these settings for that. You also have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and data EC toggle, where you can disable those with single click on the expanded quick setting panel. Brightness slider and brightness icon is available, and that is something which I am using right now. In the previous version of crDroid, this was not working. It only showed a icon which did not have automatic or manual, so that is available, and I really appreciate that. And all of these features are amazing. You do have vibrate on touch, you do have edit icon in the header, you can have multi-user switcher on the header. All this can be enabled and disabled, so that is pretty amazing to see. The buttons option is the classic CyanogenMod style buttons option, where you have the home button and recent button and the volume button controls with playback control and keyboard cursor control. But also you have back button long press here rather than in the developer option. So that is something which I really appreciate. I do use this a lot because I do close out a few applications, because well, my kind of usage does require a few applications to be force closed, because well, I do get them stuck a lot of times. So yeah, navigation bar can be enabled from here and you can use that. I personally do not use that, but there is option if you do. Notification options, you do have power notification control, which I have enabled for the HD device HD capable stuff to be not shown in the status bar, because I hate seeing that. Another way, if you want to disable this, long press this and select more settings. In the more settings, you can select, it will be normally like this. You can click here and select it to the least version, so that way you can get that icon out of there and from the lock screen also. But if you expand it, it will still be there. There isn't a real good reason for that to be there, to remove that from there, so that's something which you will have to take care of. It does have breathing notification for missed calls, SMS, voicemail, all of that is available. Timeout for the peak notification, 5 is the default. I have set it to 2 because I don't like intrusive stuff, so that is there. The display option, you can enable the ambient display from here, or the display options in the settings directly. Transparency, now this is another thing which is available, where you can change the QS quick setting shade to transparent, or maybe half transparent, opaque. You can select the opacity of it and you can customize it in that regard. Borders can be enabled, and that is something which is available. Shade corner radius, border dash width, all that can be customized, and that is something which I really appreciate. You do have to enable that, and you can have that, and that is really cool way to customize your ROM. That is really amazing. In the lock screen options, you do have a few options like screen shortcuts. You can disable the sender shortcuts, which was a slim feature. You do have that. Swipe shortcuts can also be customized to whatever you need. Also media cover out clock, and it even has the visualizer when you're playing music. It's really cool. Torch and double tap to sleep is available, and I do really like that. Recent screen, now in the recent screen you do have options for the normal immersive recent button, or the overview stuff which is with Android, or you can enable the Omni Switch, and Omni Switch is one of my favorite feature, but you do lose the tile display option in the Omni Switch, but hey, that is a thing which I am willing to make. In the sound option, you can enable the screenshot sound, volume step can be customized, and less frequent notification sound is also something which you can enable, disable. Volume down, volume up, volume panel can be customized, so that is something which you can do. In the miscellaneous option, you do have clock widget, and that is something which I really appreciate. You can enable weather. You do have to install the CM weather provider from Play Store, because it's not built in, so you do have to use that, but after a few fidgeting you will get that option available. Screenshot type, you do have drag selection and full screenshot in here, and I really appreciate that. I normally use the drag selection because I find this to be a very good thing when you're sharing content, when you're sharing stuff with other people, so that's something which I really appreciate. Auto start music player, remove tile summary, allow signal proofing, all that is available. Even show CPU usage here if you do want to monitor your CPU usage. Scrolling cache can also be enabled, disabled, force disable, even default enable, so that is something which I really appreciate. And then there is the about crDroid page, where you can see the changelog, what are all the differences. Now crDroid is not just for this device, so you are going to see a lot of non-device specific changes in here, so you will have to get through that. GitHub can be accessed from here also. Now in the other stuff, there is the display options. Live display is there, and you can change the you can change this one. Automatic mode does not work, so you do have to keep that in mind. I personally would have liked to have this thing working, because I do use my phone a lot during dock hours, and having low blue filter for this would be amazing. I'm not entirely sure why that is a huge deal, why it is not enabled by default, because it seems like a very simple thing, but that is available. That is still under construction. It does have ambient display, and you can enable all the extra features of proximity sensor and the pickup sensor to enable the ambient display, so you can use that. Prevent accidental wake up is available, and that does work with the fingerprint scanner, so that is amazing. And almost everything else is basically what you would expect out of a CM based ROM. It does have gestures, and that does work out really nicely. It does have additional buttons, but well, the LSR does not work as with any new crDroid ROM, and that is my one big complaint about crDroid, yet the alert slider does not work, and any crDroid versions I use, the alert slider is not working. I'm not entirely sure if this is for me only, but I do see a lot of people who are in the forums whose alert slider are not working, and that does tick me off a lot because I've grown used to using the alert slider to silence my phone a lot, and it's just really inconvenient to just not being able to use that. So I do have that do not disturb button on my on my status bar. So yeah, so you do get all the bugs with CM based ROM. So you do have the echo problem. I didn't have an echo problem, but I do have volume with calls, so I do flash the echo fix .zip, and it does work out, so I am using that. Apart from that, I would like to tell you guys about the battery life. The battery life for me was not the best battery life I've gotten out of crDroid or any CM 14.1 ROM. It finished out really quickly about after my day began. I was able to use this. I mean, I do use this quite hard. I do have my Bluetooth headset paired up. I do have my Bluetooth watch paired up. I do use music player. I do listen to music all the time. And at about 3 o'clock, the battery was at about 15%, and it started the low power saving mode. So that has not happened to be on 14 ROMs yet. So yeah, battery life not the strong suit of this ROM. So yeah, I guess that should be it in the settings menu. Let me show you guys the Antutu benchmark score, which is, well, it is normally what you would expect out of a CM based ROM. It is about 150,000. It does go up to 152,000, and this is running a stock CM kernel, not the Boyfla kernel or EX kernel, and with any of those kernel you are going to get a better score on this Antutu benchmark, but I wanted to keep it real, and this is the score which I received with this. So yeah, let me show you guys the boot animation, which is honestly the box stock crDroid boot animation ever since the dawn of time. So here is the box stock crDroid boot animation, which was since the dawn of time of crDroid. It has been the same, and there is no change in that, and it might be a good thing because it is a good cool boot animation which is minimal, and it gets the job done of telling you what ROM this is. So yeah, I guess that should be it about the crDroid then. Another problem which I have is with the power amp. I do listen to power amp a lot, and the problem I had with this is that when you are using search, if you're searching for example, okay, the power amp just force closes. You cannot use search with power amp, and that has been bugging me since the last version of crDroid. I have tried out 3 versions of crDroid. This is the only ROM where I have this problem. Restoration Remix works fine. I have used Xenon HD. That works fine. That didn't have any issues like that. So that is one of the reasons by which I cannot use this as my daily driver, and the alert slider. These 2 things really do tick me off, and I hope this will be fixed in the upcoming builds. Really hope so. So yeah, I guess that much is it about the ROM then. It is a reliable ROM. I didn't have any force close issues or anything like that apart from the power amp one, of course. It is a very fast ROM. In using it, it does have the animation speed selected to 0.75 by default, so you will feel that this ROM is really fast, but that is because of this one. It is at 0.6, so you will get a faster responses with each click of everything. So yeah, that is another thing. So yeah, I guess that much is it about the ROM then. Hope you guys like the video. Please share, subscribe, and like the video if you found it useful. See you guys next time. Bye.